Inshallah, I will begin by first extending my condolence message to Commissioner for Higher Education, Kano State of Nigeria, Dr. Yusuf Farmata, over the demise of his three relatives. One, his daughter, his elder sister, and a wife to his brother, whom passed away the day before yesterday over the tragedy of fire accidents. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant them Jannat al-Firdausi, and may he bestow him and grant him with the fortitude to bear the loss. Ameen. Inshallah, I think I would like to talk about the right of neighbor upon his neighbor. The right of neighbor upon his neighbor. First, who is the neighbor? The neighbor, as we all know, is the person whom you live together with, the person who is close to you, whom you reside together with, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned it in chapter 4, verse 36, that is Surah An-Nisa. وَاعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ وَلَا تُشْرِكُوا بِهِ شَيْئًا وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا وَبِذِي الْقُرْبَى وَالْيَتَامَى وَالْمَسَاكِينِ وَالْجَارِ ذِي الْقُرْبَى وَالْجَارِ الْجُنُبِ وَالصَّاحِبِ بِالْجَنبِ وَابْنِ السَّبِيلِ وَمَا مَلَكَتْ أَيْمَانُكُمْ إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُحِبُّ مَنْ كَانَ مُخْتَالًا فَخُورًا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, worship Allah and associate nothing with him, and do good to your parents, the relative, that is and relative, the orphans, and the neighbors who are close to you, and the far away neighbors. And Allah says, وَالْسَاحِبِ بِالْجَنْبِ. That sahibi bil-jambi means the companion by your side, meaning the companion or a friend who is at your side. And the Mufassirun, that is the Quranic commentators, translated that was sahibi bil-jambi as your wife. As a student as I am, I have drawn an analogy from this very was sahibi bil-jambi as a roommate, that your roommate can fall between this very category of people, because you are always together with him. So what are the right dues? What are the duties? What are the right things that you are going to do upon your neighbor, the person you are together with? A number of things were mentioned according to number of ahadith and number of Islamic books, but I have categorized them into three. First of all, there are things which you must avoid, the things which you must prevent your neighbor from them, because there is a rule in Islam which says, Darul Mafasidi Muqaddamun ala Jalabil Masali, meaning it is better to avoid wrong things than to do something that will give you benefits. That is to say, it is better not to harm your neighbor. It is better not to cheat your neighbor than to do good to him. That is number one, to avoid cheating your neighbor. Because the Prophet Muhammad says in one hadith, لا يدخل الجنة من لا يأمن جاره بوائقه. And in another hadith, the Prophet was reported to have says, Man kana yu'min billahi wal yawmil akhir fala yu'zi jarahu. Whoever believes in Allah and the last day, he should never harm his neighbor. When I say neighbor, in this respect, and I mean your roommates, don't ever cheat him. by any means. What are the things that we do to cheat and harm our fellow roommates? The things are well known. They are not far-fetched. Number one, as far as I know, we do cheat our neighbors or our roommates by causing inconvenience to their sleeping. Someone may need to sleep, and at that very moment, you engage in chatting or you play music with your phone with a high level of volume, which causes him inconvenience at that time, and maybe he may not be able to sleep. Or he is already asleep, but when you come to the room shouting, or as soon as you enter the room, you play a music, that may wake him up. And when he wakes up, you may not notice it, because he is not a small baby. It is a small baby that when he wakes up, he will begin to cry. And that will indicate that the small baby has woken up from the sleep. He will just wake up in his blanket, and he may not let you know. He may just hit and abuse you in his mind, because you will feel very inconvenienced, and he may not talk to you, and you have harmed him, and this is very wrong. And someone may think that the time for sleeping is only night. No. As scholars as we are, the time for sleeping is depend upon everybody. Someone may not sleep completely in the night. He may sleep in the noon. Yes, that noon is the time for his sleeping. So when you come and meet him sleeping, you should never ever wake him up. Maybe by shouting too much or by playing music. All this kind of things should be avoided. So this is what Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam reported to says, "Man kana yu'minu billahi wal yawmil akhir, fala yu'dhi jarahu." Don't ever cheat your neighbor. And we do cheat our neighbors maybe by disturbing their reading. Someone may engage in reading, but at that time you may engage in chatting, or you may engage in playing music without thinking of anything. And something that may surprise you, such and such people with this kind of attitude on their hand, if you do such a thing to them, they will show you their unhappiness physically. So this is the thing which we must take note of, not to cheat our neighbor. And the other three items that I had mentioned earlier, the time may not permit me to continue. Inshallah, next Friday we should continue from where we stopped. وسبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.